I've been getting a lot of questions about the update and like what I think about the update overall since it's dropped. And by the way, I would love to hear your thoughts in chat as well. What do you guys think about it? Like, do you guys like it? Don't like it? Overall, like my thoughts I wanted to share with you guys. A lot of people have questions in terms of like, should I come back? Is it good? And so on. And as we're playing this through, I'm just going to go over some of the things that I really like about the update and some things that are, in my opinion, could be better. Like literally, guys, this was just an update for balancing weapons and making tools more fun to use and more powerful for the players. And compare it to their biggest content update of all time, which was, I'm going to go to the other point, which was the escalation of freedom and the fact that it retains way more players on a longer time period. And on top of that, it had a higher peak when the balance patch dropped is insane, right? Because once again, there was no new content. So if you take a look at the numbers, this right here, guys, is August 7th. So this is where August 6th, sorry, when their biggest update / content dropped. This was the escalation of freedom. 62,500 players, 62,600 players almost. So now you see the trend. You see how it's literally only going down, right? Within the month. It's literally going down. There's nothing good happening here. And right away, somewhere along the lines of these numbers, I don't remember where it was exactly, but if you follow it, it at some point dropped to 5,000 players. But after that, look at this. This is the balance patch when it dropped. So this is not a content drop. This is a balance patch, okay? And it already beats the number of the biggest content drop in the game. Look at the player base. Look at that. You see that, right? Look at the peaks. 50,000, 52,000, 46,000, right? What is it? 39,000, 39,000. And look at it before the balance patch. I think this should show you everything you need to know. And I don't think this is an argument to the point where, oh, you know what? This was a mistake, because numbers don't lie. And it was not a mistake. It's a dub, and it was a great decision from the devs. Before this update, the game was simply not fun. That's what it was. With this update and with the decisions that the devs have made, overall, the game just feels 10 times better. So what is the reason for that? Huge variety of builds that you can compete with on the higher difficulties on the game. You're not running 24/7. You can actually stand and fight. And I say this while running to the next mission, but I'm running because I'm going to the mission, okay? When I say running, what I mean is running away from enemies, not just going from point A to point B, okay? We don't have vehicles yet, so I don't have a choice. But like when it comes to actually fighting or running, I have a choice. Shoot, run. All it was, right? Now, the fact that you have a lot of good tools that actually function as intended, you can stand your ground. You're not afraid to stay and fight. You know what I mean? And that is something that the game was missing a lot. On top of that, as I said, there's many different weapons that work. It's not just the flamethrower or just the, railgun when the game launched, but now it's the railgun, the flamethrower, the recoilless, the lasers. When was the last time you guys saw anyone use the scythe like I'm using right now before the update, right? Against the bugs? Pretty much never, because that never happened. Literally, that never happened, bro, because there was no reason to do that. It was horrific. Against the bots, it was okay, but like against the bugs, it was always terrible. But now, with the changes, a lot of primary weapons, I've uploaded a full primary weapon tier list, and on that list, you will see a lot of weapons end up on like higher tiers because they're actually pretty decent. And that is what made people come back, because the gameplay loop is just better. It is, and it's more fun. And at the end of the day, that's what gamers are looking for. They're looking for fun. And this is a horde shooter, and what it started missing was the ability to clear those hordes, to get a bunch of kills and go crazy in the game, right? That's literally what it was lacking. And to have that back is something that everybody enjoys a lot. And those were the kind of changes that really the community really needed and expected. Now, we got to give credit where credit is due, because a lot of the times these companies, listen to all these feedback, and then they go, you know what? They don't know what they want. We're just going to do what we want. Well, a lot of them do that, as mentioned. And then 6 months later, they look at the player base and there's like 14 people playing. And they're like, what happened? I don't know. Like, it's like such a surprise to them, as if they're hearing it for the first time. that the game is in trouble. Another thing to keep in mind is that the game actually was dropping to 5,000 players on Steam. And if you think about that, like from a numbers perspective, a game that was almost 500,000 players on Steam dropping to 5,000 players, right? That's crazy low. Now, about some of the stuff that I don't like with the patch is the fact that, you know, they did make some changes in terms of survivability. I don't think that it is a huge, big deal at the moment. And I do think that this could be probably reverted. Maybe they will do that. Maybe they won't. But currently, like what they did essentially is they made us squishier, literally glass cannons now, but in a way that not many people expected it to be. So what that means is nobody expected us to be this squishy, right? Like you can literally get 1-2 shot by a lot of stuff in the game, and it can be like crazy sometimes. But this is just my personal opinion, and it might be not be a popular opinion, but with all the power that we've been given currently, I don't mind it as much. Is it better to not be this way? Yes. Would I like the change to happen? Yes. But do I think that this is a problem to the point that the game feels as bad as it did before the update? The answer is no. I do not feel that way. I feel like even though this is the case, the game is just in a way better spot than it was before this update. And if you're thinking about coming back to this game, you should 100% try it out, and you will see quickly what I'm talking about. The fact that there's just so many different builds that you can use and have fun is really nice. On top of that, the team play aspect of the game feels better because they've made adjustments to a lot of stratagems, as mentioned, and support weapons. Another thing that I forgot to mention is the bot side of the game. You guys know I enjoy playing against the bugs, and honestly, that's for a reason. Of course, I do play against the bots. I test support weapons and primary weapons and stratagems against the bots, but the process of playing against them is just not fun for me personally. And that is something that they definitely need to adjust. And a really quick example of what I really do not enjoy against the bots would be still ragdolling. I feel like the animations of ragdolling are just not it. The getting up animation of the character after said ragdoll is too slow. I also think that getting hit from off screen when there is zero sound cues or visual cues that I'm about to get hit are not great. And on top of that, remember, all of these things can one-shot you a lot of the time. So it's really not fun for me to play against the faction where I'm just running, everything looks clean, and out of nowhere, there's no sound, no visual, boom, I'm dead. Or boom, I'm getting ragdolled and ragdolled again and again, and now I'm dead. Especially after playing Space Marine 2 and seeing those amazing visual and sound cues that I get when I'm about to get hit from off screen just makes me not want to play against the bots at the moment. And I'm not even gonna talk about the aimbotting and the crazy stuff that the bots can do a lot of the times. On the automaton side, there needs to be a slight rework in combat when we're going against them. Don't get me wrong, the missions are extremely easy to do. If you pay attention and play those missions just to complete the missions on the automaton side, they're easy peasy. There's just not a problem. But it comes down to the fact of the process of me playing that mission being fun. And for me personally, those things that I just talked about make it not so fun. And I think that in the future, they are going to address this. They actually already started addressing these things with this latest update. And we got a bunch of big updates coming up, hopefully. And I'm sure they will address some of these things and the game just will feel better overall. So overall, what would I rate this update in terms of like the buffs and the changes to the balancing of the game? This is also a question that I get a lot. I would give it a solid 8. I would give it a solid 8. The reason I'm not going to give it higher is because of the changes that I said when it comes to the survivability. It's not a huge deal, but I think for this update to be perfect, that was something that maybe should have not been done. Then again, as I said, I'm still enjoying the game a lot at the moment. Like you guys see, right? Like we're fighting all of these enemies and it doesn't feel like I get destroyed all the time, but it still gets risky a lot of the time. If I make a mistake, I get punished. Another thing that I want to address, by the way, we're actually going to go right into the base. Do we have a grenade? I have one nade. Watch this. Okay, I'm going to stim and we're going to do something crazy. We're going to bait them into these guys right here. We're going to drop that. And we're going to go for this. This should get a bunch of kills, but I need to get out though. I don't know if I make it out here. Oh! Oh, yes, sir. Come on, come on, come on. Move, move, move. Let's go, baby. Now we we spread some democracy right here. Another thing that I want to cover is, you know, a part of the community does feel like, you know, the game is too easy now and it's not fun anymore. When it comes to that, first of all, I want you guys to know that I think that everybody can express their opinion and nobody should get shit on because of an opinion. That might hit that tower there. It's their opinion. If they want to think that way, that's fine. One thing that I will say, though, is all you got to do to see how the majority of the population thinks, you got to look at the numbers. You got to look at the numbers. You got to put your ego away and be realistic about the facts, right? And you will clearly see that more people are enjoying the game than not enjoying the game. And it's still not like super easy. And if the argument ever was that the game will be too easy because of this balance patch, my answer to that is very simple. The game was always very easy when it comes to completing missions. Look, we've literally been chatting and we completed the mission already. I didn't even notice. Completing the missions on this game has always been super easy, guys. It has never been a problem. The problem with the previous meta was that completing those missions and the process of doing so was simply not fun. Now, the reason people are playing again is because it's fun, right? And crazy stuff happens like this still. The gameplay can still be tough, but completing the missions is still easy. I hope this makes sense, right? Because it was never hard, man. Like, I have videos on the channel where we complete the missions literally by using no weapons or one weapon only. That's how simple the game was at all times. So I don't think that that was ever a strong argument there. However, I do understand that some people have the right to feel that way. And, you know, if that's what they feel, that's what they think, there's nothing you can do about it. And it's okay. Overall, I think that the balance patch was a phenomenal choice by the devs. I think that the decision making was great. I think that they trusted their community in a way, and they got a huge dub from doing so. I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh! Oh, he got no scoped.